Hello again, Shosroy back with World of Warships. My last video had a double strike, and so this is a double strike double feature. This is the one I mentioned in that last video of the Nassau double strike. And this is me, the grind is real for the German battleships. I actually got my Kaiser shortly after the video I last posted with the Ho show. And I had a lot of fun grinding out the Nassau, just because I got several matches like this. And in this match, I will show you how to fight like a man in the German Tier 3 Nassau. That's really the only way I can describe this. Now, whenever I recorded this, I actually recorded this live, and I thought I had set it up where you would have a live commentary for this video. However, when I went back to watch it, there was no audio. You could not hear me when I did it originally. And so here we are fixing it in post. Because the first thing I thought was, it's Solomon Islands, there's the B point. Let's not go there and engage destroyers in my battleship. Now this is a terror for destroyers, because it has guns in the back, which is what I'm talking about now, and it even has them in the front, as you can see here. It's bristling with secondaries. You get close quarter combat ribbons left and right if you're anywhere near anything. And I believe in this replay I get the same amount of primary gun hits as I do secondary hits. It's insane. And here I am seeing that no one at all is going to the B flag, and I just cannot allow destroyers to go unimpeded through the middle. So put on my big boy pants and I load the high explosive, and here I go. I can, like, this map guaranteed there will be a destroyer in B. If there's not, there's something wrong. There's just straight up something wrong. So preparing my anti-destroyer tactics. Not ideal in a battleship, but I'm very aggressive with my battleship anyway. And yeah, it's completely counterintuitive, but I go looking for trouble with destroyers way too much. But as we can see, it is being captured, but we don't have eyes on, so we don't know if it's a cruiser or a destroyer. But I'm convinced at this point it's a destroyer, and if he doesn't see any opposition, he doesn't see anyone messing with his cap, he's gonna push through. That's what I would do if I was in a destroyer. Now I'm spotted, and sure enough, there's the destroyer. Now, it doesn't do well in the opening volley for him, and I predict his torpedoes right there. He turned sideways on, so I'm assuming he's launching torpedoes there. The secondaries start hitting him, and there's the torpedoes. Predicted them just as well. And I'm like, okay, now the secondaries are after him. He should be taking quite a bit of damage, and you can see the hits piling up from the secondaries. I'm like, well, I'm still going to finish him off with the primaries. I like getting the secondary ribbons, but then our destroyer finishes him off after I did all that damage. And I'll be honest, I was a bit salty. You can see me typing in the chat, about to be really sarcastic. I decided against it. And random explosion in the water. And then I type something a little bit less salty into chat, more just shrugging it off. But honestly, I really wanted that kill. I really wanted a close quarters combat ribbon, because I just love using the secondaries on battleships. Because if you don't use them, what are they there for? But now we are the ones unopposed in the B flag. And I can't decide if I am going to engage a destroyer or light cruiser or battleship, but this is just my question right here. It's a battleship. I should have loaded the armor piercing, because he is pretty flat on to me. And actually at this angle, we'll see in a minute, the Nassau is pretty vulnerable. You actually seem to get less damaged being more flat on than being angled, because I'm used to angling my front. But I take some massive damage from this guy, him shooting at an angle just like I'm at right now. And right now he's shooting high explosives, so it doesn't matter. One fire, not enough. I catch him in the side, do a pretty good amount of damage, 5 hits. And this is where he turns out, because he's not dumb enough to do that again. But right here I'm rotating left and right my nose so I can get my guns that are reloaded on either side ready. And right there, see, I took a lot of damage, and I was what I thought was pretty well angled. But I've had other matches where the same thing happens. And this is just a slugfest. The secondaries are blazing. You just look at the hits piling up from the secondaries. Plus then there's my primaries, which I keep firing. I'm trying to knock his guns out. I'm not actually going for the hull hits. I'm trying to knock his guns out in the back, because then he'll just be defenseless. Fire was out, and right there, man, I can't tell if I got citadeled or what from the front. But I've lost over half my health him shooting at the front of my ship, slightly angled. I'm like, it must be presenting a flat of some kind. But this is when I realize there's another one, and my guns on my right side are loaded, so I fire here, and then switch back to my left side guns. Fire here. The placement of the turrets on the Nassau is ridiculous, and there again, from the front, massive damage on me. But I'm brawling, I'm fighting, the secondaries are still slamming them, and scratch one, and I think it's on the next volley, right here, scratch two, double strike, barely survived. And I was extremely surprised that I took so much damage from that enemy Nassau from the front. So, a little bit of a learning experience for me there, that when you're in the Nassau, it's not always the best thing to be nose on, counterintuitively, because in every other ship, it's better to be nose on because you have an angled front and your armor works. But I was getting hammered, and then I take that kill too. Nom nom, mine. So, in very rapid succession, I got 3 kills, barely surviving. And it was very intense, and I learned an interesting weakness of the Nassau, while also displaying its strength of the very odd turret placement. Very counterintuitive to the higher tiers, but you can do some work. And it was really fun. I was borderline upset that I took so much damage. And here I'm just telling my team, like, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and not engage the remaining enemies, cause I'm almost dead. And repairs coming up in just a couple seconds. And at this point, I'm fully just decided I'm not going to engage. I'm just going to sit here. Those guys have them outnumbered. Our guys are too far in the south. If I just go up there now, I'm going to die. And that's why I even delayed using my repair. This was just in case they decided to come back around. And during all of that, I still hadn't captured B. So going back to capture B and put even more pressure on the enemy, just to help ensure our victory. But I'm quite content on not engaging the enemy here, and the enemy South Carolina up ahead does actually appear to be coming back this way. So I slow down, thinking he might wander into my range and I can fire over these islands. Get a couple shots on him. But he's at the extreme of my range, and the Nassau's not very accurate. He's still not really in range. I take a shot anyway, and he disappears, but I actually get, I do hit him, and I didn't expect to hit him at all. But here we almost have the objective captured. Still a good minute on my next repair, and I'm still not confident enough to fight. So I move forward and just stay out of the way. Take another shot. Island eats most of it. Only one shell gets over, and it's off by a country mile. Country kilometer. Out at sea. And here I'm actually turning around, but this is another limitation of the Nassau, is it just doesn't turn very well. And going in reverse like this really it just doesn't work. It takes so long for this big ship to stop that we're gonna be here a while. One quick transition, as I don't let you sit through that painful transition. It just took forever. Take my word for it. We are now healed back up to a decent amount, and the South Carolina just got a ram off on one of our Nassau's. But here I am linking up with our remaining 2 battleships to eliminate the final enemy. The rest of this match is fairly straightforward. We're gonna engage him and put him to the bottom of the ocean. But there is one more interesting part that is worth noting right near the end. But I'm kind of sad to see the Nassau go. I need the port slot, so I sold it when I got my Kaiser. And 3 quick Emden German premium matches later, he was retrained for the Kaiser. And Kaiser's a decent ship. It again has a interesting turret selection, but it can get all of its turrets firing in one direction, even though it has offset turrets. One extra on the left, one extra on the right. If you have it on the right diagonal, which may be a video in and of itself. However, we are still in the process of hunting down this last unfortunate soul. And he goes down swinging. He too is a man in the Nassau. But I was firing high explosive at him because I wanted the extra damage. At this distance, I won't reliably be hitting him, so I'd rather try to set him on fire like that. And once we close the distance, I'll switch back to armor piercing. And may actually... right here, switching to the armor piercing. So the next time we go in, we'll be close enough to do stuff. Actually do some good damage. Set in primary, secondaries. Secondaries opening up. Main feature of the Nassau is the secondaries, and I actually turned them off because the ally ship was in the way, and I don't want to set the ally ship on fire, as I've seen in videos. And he's just done, and that's that. That's how to be a man in the Nassau. Take out the enemy destroyer? Nah, it's fine. Just take him out. What's that? Enemy battleship? Chase him. What? You're taking lots of damage? Chase him anyway. And kill that one guy that strayed too close to you. Now, on to our manly score. Got 105,574 credits. 3,000 experience is so nice. And 64,875 damage. And here's the amazing part. We got 51 secondary hits and primary hits. That's just pretty crazy that equaled out. I got our kills in like 5 fires. Double strike, which was just nice. I like getting double strike. They're pretty rare for me. We were top on experience, but similar to the Hosho battle, we actually didn't get the most damage. That goes to the other Nassau here, the one that got rammed. Or did he do the ramming? I guess we'll never know. But here's just the damage for our other the ships we did. Except for the enemy Nassau, it's not too amazing. But we did do a lot of fire damage. And that's here. And our secondary damages is here after 51 hits. Just looking at the damage caused by the secondaries and the possible, I believe, there was at least 2 fires set by the secondaries. So some of that fire damage is from the secondaries as well. But overall, that was super fun. And I hope you enjoyed watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.